Hello and welcome back to our podcast Collecting Comics. We haven't filmed a few episodes in a while, so we're really excited to be back with a look at a second all Marvel box. We filmed our early X-Men, our early Spider-Man, you may have seen our Hulk, and it's been good fun, so excited for this upcoming video. Dad, what have we got to look at today?
So today, Ellie, we have what is mainly a Marvel team-up box, but at the start of this box, I found Marvel Fanfare.
Awesome.
Which is quite a nice 80s prestige format comic that Marvel did back then. This is the first issue. Nice Sauron, Spidey and Angel. I'm not actually sure who the cover's by, but I remember it was written by Chris Claremont for sure. I think the art's by Paul Smith.
I can see that. Is that the autograph there of the artist?
Yeah.
It looks like it could be.
It does. I don't recognise who that is.
But no, it's a nice cover.
It is a
and
nice
it's
cover.
It's quite
as well, I think.
Is it?
That's
cool.
I think it's wraparound.
It's quite an inviting first issue.
Yeah. This is nice as well. That, I mean, again, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's P. Craig Russell.
And that's Spider-Man, obviously, as a spider, who we do see from time to time.
Yeah, looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, gone full on spider. Dave Cockrum.
Very cool.
So yeah, that was quite a nice thing that Marvel did. They were doing some epic comics. They started their graphic novels. They were experimenting a bit. We had the direct market sales only to comic shops at the time. It was coloured a bit differently. I liked it. It was good. It was a good comic. It was a bit of a try-out thing.
I like comic books that bring characters from different teams together.
Yeah, I agree.
And that you get something new and different every issue.
We spoke about, didn't we? We spoke about things like Marvel Premiere and Marvel Spotlight when they did exactly that.
Yeah.
By this point, both of those books were cancelled in the 70s, although they did bring Marvel Spotlight back for a bit.
So I wonder how much sort of cover space Sauron actually had from, since the X-Men to now. He's just been on 4 issues.
I don't know if Sauron had appeared actually since, the Neil Adams creation.
And an Angel.
Yeah, I don't think he's in any of Chris Claremont.
I haven't seen him in a while.
John Burns run, so maybe this was his return. Not sure, can't remember, but yeah, there's another place there. Marvel Fanfare continues with, I don't remember that. Look at this for a cover.
That is a very good cover.
It is by P. Craig Russell, so I think the other one that I said wasn't. But look at that, I really like that.
I mean, especially now with this renewed interest in the Scarlet Witch.
Definitely.
I mean, this could be a cover that, people see and want.
I remember issue 7 as being the death of Eunice.
Okay.
So in this issue, Eunice and the Blob are best friends.
Oh.
They fight the Hulk. They're obviously from, I mean, as we know, we've got X-Men 3, first Blob. I think Eunice might be issue 2, let's say.
Okay.
Or maybe 4.
Yeah.
Something like that. And here they're best mates and Eunice dies. And Blob's really upset, as I remember it.
Oh, Blob.
Yeah. Number 9's quite an interesting...
is that Mephisto and Man thing?
Yeah, it's Mephisto and Man Thing. Obviously Man Thing being one of my all-time favourite characters. So there's another Man Thing story there that I kind of forgotten about. I really want to highlight some of these, Ellie, because there's a real favourite of ours from when you and Lily were little that we used to read at bedtime. It's a great comic.
I remember this cover.
Before I do that, yeah, this is quite an iconic
It is.
Black Widow run. With art by George Perez, covers by George Perez. Really nice. I really like the covers.
Yeah, often you see these covers.
Yeah, they're quite well used, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they're obviously so good. This is sorry, this is something I just want to point out.
I was going to say, are they the Marvel ball pen?
So the editor of this book was Alan Milgram. Quite a famous 70s Marvel artist. He's also writing and editing at this point. And those little cover things that he did look just like Chris Caruso, don't they?
Well, that face
In
does
the style
actually.
in the style of, now that looks like Angel from, you know, the Spawn character, but it isn't.
Right.
I think it's Titania.
Yeah, that's
she
like
called.
her.
Yeah, but yeah, he's up.
She's got a serpent wrapped round her though, so I don't know
Yeah.
if it is Titania.
I guess this is Black Widow still, because
Yeah.
there she is. Yeah, but he started doing those little corner panels.
I'll confess, they're not my
Featuring-
favourite. I do
No.
like seeing the
I agree.
the Marvel characters, but they're quite quirky. This is the one that I remember.
Yeah, so jumping forward to issue 15, it's got a great Barry Windsor Smith cover, story and art by Barry Windsor Smith, and it's Johnny.
It's April Fool's Day.
Exactly. It's such a fun story that, as I said, I used to read this to you and Lily when you were little. I love that issue, and it's a great thing. Johnny Storm.
I love seeing any
Story.
characters at home, especially the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they're such a family team, aren't they? This was the last issue I bought at the time. It's a Jim Starlin cover, probably Jim Starlin interiors.
The thing does work quite well as a
Yeah, it
solo
does,
character.
Then as I said, I stopped buying comics. I came back when I started buying comics again in 1991. You get this Joe
Painted.
Chiodo painted Sharon the She Devil cover.
I like Scarlet Witch and Vision in the top corner.
Yeah, there was a nice Scarlet Witch and Vision story in that.
Mm.
That was good. And this has got another great Chiodo painted cover,
And Hellcat and the Son of Satan.
which is a really nice story. I think it's a Valentine story. I can't
Yeah,
remember,
it looks
'cause
like
I
that
think
with
it
the
is.
heart.
And this is the last issue.
I've seen this cover before.
Yeah, so this is a nice Walt Simonson Black Panther cover.
So a 60-issue run
Yeah.
for Marvel Fanfare is very
Yeah,
good.
5 years if it was monthly, which I think it was. Might not have been, I can't remember. So that went into the early 90s. It was good. I used to enjoy Marvel Fanfare, I look forward to it. But one of my favourite books when I started buying comics was Marvel Team Up, which I thought was brilliant because very much like Marvel 2 in 1, you'd have a different character every issue, obviously, and sometimes it would be obscure characters. But for my birthday, my mum bought me number 1 and number 2.
So did you send off to America for these comics?
I did send off to America, and I think they came from Mile High, but I might have got that wrong. They weren't near mint. I couldn't ask my mum to buy me near mint because they're too expensive. And also, if I'd gone for near mint, I probably could have got 1 comic. I think I got maybe 5 because I got Marvel Feature 1, which was the first Defenders, and Defenders 1 and 2, I think.
Cool.
In that
is
little
cool.
batch of 5, that's what I remember.
And this one's been stamped February 14th.
Has, see that, yeah. Yeah, you do see some of those, don't you? I don't know why. And this
No.
wasn't distributed in England at the time. The first 3 issues, Roy Thomas wrote the first one. I'm not sure he wrote the second, but I think he set this book up as a Spider-Man Human Torch comic. I think
Right.
that's what it was, because the first 3 issues are Spidey and the Human Torch, and even issue 4, which is Spider-Man and the X-Men, and this is after the X-Men has been cancelled. I think Johnny's at the start of it and he says, "Yeah, I've got to go because I've got, you know, Fantastic
He's
Four
got
business."
missions.
But number 4 is great. I don't have it, but it features the X-Men and Morbius.
Oh,
really
cool.
good.
What X-Men team?
Yeah, it's the original.
Nice.
No, I've got a feeling. I don't think Gene's in it. I think it's the 4 blokes. I don't
Okay.
know why, but Gene might be in it. We've got it in the masterwork. Number 8 features the Cat. So the Cat's comic had been cancelled with 4 issues,
Yeah.
and this is her next appearance. And her next appearance is Giant Size Creatures 1, featuring the Werewolf by Night, and she becomes Tigra, the werewoman,
Oh,
in that, and then she gets a bit of a run in Marvel Chillers. Anyway,
that is cool.
good costume.
I do like the
As worn by
costume.
Hellcat now. I love this one. This one we got quite recently, didn't we? A comic mark. Do you remember?
I remember
Comic-Con.
this. Again, this covers what really well used. Spider-Man and Iron Man teaming
Yeah.
up, and we found it in a shop called Box Lunch on Canvas.
Yeah. Bought it from me, didn't you?
Yeah.
And we've got it in Florida. It sits on my coffee table
Yeah.
next to our sofa out there. And it's a great cover. I was really pleased to see that at Comic Marts near Mint. Nice.
Do they have value stamps in these
Yeah,
books?
value stamps. Some of the later ones, of course, I'll cut out being me, but obviously these newer ones I've bought, I don't do that anymore.
No,
fortunately.
well.
11's quite nice. I bought that quite recently from. That did come from Marhiles and Near Mint. When I say recently, in the last 15 years or so. I always like this one.
Well, Ghost Rider's one of your
Yeah,
favourites.
because it's got such a great cover.
They look like they're on 42nd Street in New York.
They are, aren't they? Yeah, that's a great cover. Is it Gil Kane? Don't know. I can always tell Gil Kane. I think it is Gil Kane. What's it say down there?
I was just looking, I think that's just detail.
I think it is.
I love the icons to either side of the title.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love the design of it.
Mm.
Not the necessarily the little Marvel team up squash at the top, but the way they wrap Spider-Man around the other character, and that's the writing they used for Ghost Rider's own comic at the time, which was really good.
And Ghost Rider rumoured to be in the next Doctor Strange film.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently,
that's
who knows? Because we hear so many of these rumours.
Yeah.
But they want Nick Cage back, apparently.
Cool. Well, I mean, Ghost Rider had appeared. Robbie Reyes, the new Ghost Rider in the car, has appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's
really
true.
Good.
That is true, actually. And
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So there's no reason why they shouldn't bring him in.
And if it is Doctor Strange going through the multiverses, then they might want to connect to some of their old films. Yeah?
Hope so.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
He's a character who looks good on screen.
He looks good on screen. He does. Always thought that before I did the films, and I thought they did the films quite well. I liked him when he's riding with Knight Rider. The original Ghost Rider.
The cowboy.
Yeah, the cowboy. Brilliant. 16 was Captain Marvel, who was still with us back then in the 70s. I like things like this because Mr. Fantastic, he'd never had his own
font,
exactly.
No.
So that's probably the
unless
first
it's
Mr.
on the old
Fantastic.
pin-ups with that Jack Kirby.
True, yeah. Unless there was a
I'll have to
Mr.
look
Fantastic
back.
T-shirt, which of course you would want to have.
Of course.
There's no Mr. Fantastic font, so I like that. We bought this quite recently, a Comic Mart, and the reason I particularly wanted that one because it's the first appearance of Stegron the dinosaur man.
Oh, that's his first appearance.
Yeah. So therefore, it's quite essential. There he is.
There he is. Cover as well as interior.
20. That's the next issue. I remember that it was a two-parter, and Stegron's in that as well. Black Panther joins in the fun. So I used to thoroughly enjoy this book, and one good thing about it, was it every third issue? It got to a point in every third issue, but in issue 18, which I don't have, it's Human Torch and the Hulk.
Oh,
So
okay.
Spidey takes a bit of a rest, and then after Spidey Doctor Strange, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, Human Torch and Iceman, complete opposites. So that is interesting to see.
Oh, nice. So it is a Gil Kane cover. I'm pretty certain it's Gil Kane interiors. I love that cover.
I just love how Human Torch wants to melt Iceman, and I
Why?
quote, down to size.
Why would they do that?
I mean, they're both
All right,
heroes.
Iceman. I know, they'd have to have a bit of a fight. That's a typical Marvel team up. The Spider-Man would meet someone, have a massive fight, and then
They just get on.
beat some villain.
Yeah.
But that's a classic 1970s cover. I was so pleased buying that back in the day. I still think it's great.
Yeah, that is a good cover.
Good
I like that
cover.
one.
Yeah, so every sort of third issue or so, it was for a little while. It lasted into the 30s.
I wonder if the Human Torch comics were as popular as the Spider-Man.
That's a good.
I wonder if people left them on the shelf in anticipation of the next Spider-Man issue.
Maybe they did.
I don't know.
The last one was 35, and it's Human Torch and Son of Satan. So again, they're trying to think of who's fiery.
Yeah, who can we
Why
put
not, you know?
with Johnny?
Why not? But it's like the classic 1940s Submariner versus Human Torch comics, isn't it? That's what they're thinking. When he would always be fighting Submariner, probably melting him down to size. That's a good one. Brother Voodoo. Character I always like now.
I like him in Strange Academy.
Yeah, I know you said that. I haven't read that.
Yeah.
I must catch up. That's a 7p one, and that's the replacement because I cut the value stamp out.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to replace it, so there's a
25 cents.
the American one. So a lot of these I did cut the value stamps out. There we go. That's the next Johnny Storm one. Another Gil Kane cover.
With Thor
He's with
versus
Thor,
Lava
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that to me looks like a Jim Starlin cover because that looks like a Jim Starlin Hulk. This issue, which has got a bit of a rip cover. I remember this. This was bizarre because something happens to Manhattan and Hercules grabs hold of a chain, wraps it around Manhattan, and drags it back into place.
Oh, wow.
Gil Kane cover. Obviously Spidey
Saving the baby.
rescues that poor little one there. There we go. More Human Torch, this time with Iron Man.
That's funny because now, like, Marvel would put Iron Man on a book to sell the book.
Yeah,
But back then, before,
this book was
you know, the
struggling.
cinematic universe, Iron Man was not as popular.
I remember one story, I'm pretty certain it was they were going to cancel Iron Man and Daredevil, so they're thinking of putting them together in one.
One book. I
Yeah.
can't imagine those two.
Iron Man, like a Tales of Suspense, but Iron Man and Daredevil. I think it was those two. Daredevil was, as I said in the last Daredevil podcast, was definitely up for cancellation, but Frank Miller kind of revives it. Nice, must be Falcon's first appearance as a sort of a co-star outside of Captain America.
I love how Red Wing is with him.
Yeah, I like Red Wing. I prefer Red Wing the Falcon to Red Wing the
Robot android.
yeah. I'm not going to highlight them all, but you know, that's a great Gil Kane cover. Look at that with Iron Fist. There's the Son of Satan one I was talking about, which is actually 32 more Gil Kane. Again, I like Gil Kane. I think he did some fantastic covers in the 1970s for Marvel. He's a bit of a favourite. In Nighthawk, he was in the Defenders, and you know, he gets a chance here to come out of the Defenders and gets his own little.
Where is he now, Nighthawk?
He's not been around, has he, for 20 years?
Because now we've got
Really,
Gwen
yeah.
Stacy, and in this Heroes Reborn,
That's right.
she's coming back as a Nighthawk character.
right.
I mean, the costumes are pretty much the same.
So in the Defenders, he dies in, I'm going to say, in the 80s, but he has been back in the last 20 years. There was a Defenders series when he was in it. It was called The Last Defender. 10, 15 years ago, he was in it with She-Hulk, I think, and some others.
I just know
Dunno.
him through Superhero Squad, and there was a
Really?
Nighthawk and Gargoyle,
Oh yeah,
dual
Gargoyle.
pack.
Yeah, Gargoyle was in the Defenders. What's happened to Gargoyle? Nothing.
but I can't remember. I mean, these were exclusive figures. I can't remember exactly where
Yeah.
from,
Oh, the Defenders.
but we did manage to track them down.
That's a good show. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember them as well.
That's how I first was introduced to
don't
these guys.
Remember Gargoyle appearing.
He's got his little blue boots.
Has he? Yeah.
From what I can remember,
Yeah.
he's grey, blue boots, little blue sort of under.
So in the Defenders, he was an old guy. He might have been like a Jarvis. He was in, let's say, Defenders Mansion,
Right.
which I think was the Sanctum Sanctorum of Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange leaves, so they must have another headquarters. And Gargoyle was an old guy that gets changed into a
Oh,
gargoyle.
bless him.
But he's almost the same character-ish as Jack Kirby's Demon.
Right.
Almost
Yes.
the same. He looks the same, and he's even sort of a yellowy colour. So it's a bit of a, you know, but bit of the same character type thing. But he hasn't appeared for ages. Bring him back. Valkyrie. I replaced. Again, there's a 25-cent issue because I cut the value stamp out and obviously wanted to replace it. And that's the last Human Torch one. Looks like it carries on the same story.
Oh yeah.
Bit of a Defenders thing because obviously Valkyrie and Doctor Strange are in
Strange.
Defenders, and Human Torch just kind of pops up. Naturally, the Frankenstein monster appears.
It's always weird to see him in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, because he was like Dracula, anyone could use him at the time. Because he was, I'm not sure if he was 100-year-old. I don't know if he was 100 years old rather at that time. Maybe it's a 50-year-old thing. But he's out of copyright.
Yeah.
I love the Man Wolf. And there he is. Look at that. That's from Creatures on the Loose when he had his own series. But that's nice. This was the first one I bought. I remember that was the first Marvel team I got. And ironically, it's Spider-Man and Human Torch
Issue 39.
as it started. Yeah, look at this. Look, Sons of the Tiger. These guys were in they were in the black and white Deadly Hands of Kung Fu magazine. So this was the first time I would appear in colour.
Yeah, I don't know these guys.
Nah. So they get replaced in that book by the White Tiger. So they all throw their amulets away, and the White Tiger picks them up and becomes the White Tiger. I used to like that.
Does that
series.
happen in that comic?
It happens in Deadly Hands Kung Fu.
Right.
Yeah, it was by George Perez and Bill Matlow. That's a nice Scarlet Witch one.
Yeah,
Gil Kane.
Spider-Man Scarlet Witch, definitely.
Yeah, and then you know, I guess that's a
Oh,
continuation
finish the
story.
next issue. Excellent.
Yeah, so again, you see a little Vision font. He's already appeared. He appears in Marvel Team Up 5 Vision. I seem to recall. Obviously, the Doctor Doom naturally appears as his partner. Look, he's carrying
Side
on the
by
story.
side with the Vision and the Scarlet Witch.
So there's a bit more of that.
I mean, hasn't Doctor Doom unlocked magical abilities?
So yeah, he's one of their magical characters. You know, he does a bit of sorcery. I think is more his thing.
That is funny to think.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of good stuff. I can't concentrate on them all because there's so many issues. We've got quite a run of Marvel Team Up.
How many issues in the series?
They did 150. There are 150. So it ran.
Do you remember who teamed up in the last issue?
It's the X-Men. Yeah, which we'll get to. But it was always exciting, and you know, I guess you knew it was coming. Because I think at the end of most issues, they said, you know, next issue, it's Iron Man or Thor, and you're really hoping that it's someone else.
They do Daredevil.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck.
They did have that.
Did they?
Yeah, they did in the 90s, issue sort of 97, something like that.
I swear the Hulk's always going to Mexico.
So that is by John Byrne. To John Byrne Hulk. It's written by Bill Mantlo. Bill Mantlo introduces this character called Wood God who gets his own Marvel premiere story and kind of has disappeared completely from Marvel.
That's really funny. The Wood God sounds quite familiar actually. I don't know if I've come across him recently.
That's a bit rare for Marvel Team Up. They've got the same character in the next issue. You know, apart from those early issues with the Human Torch, it didn't really happen. This is quite a valuable one, I think, because it's got Adam Warlock.
Okay.
I think it's Chris Claremont starts writing it, working with John Byrne. I don't know if it's still Bill Mantlo writing it or John Byrne's now writing it, but there's Daredevil.
There's Daredevil.
And Electro does appear in the first 10 issues, I'm going to say, Daredevil. You've read it, haven't you, recently?
But doesn't, I think he's in issue 2.
I think he's early, isn't he?
In Daredevil Electro.
Yeah, so, you know, he's got a bit of a history.
Double Danger, the Daily Bugle.
Of course. Black Widow pops up. The Ghost Rider again. It's not quite as good a cover, is it, as the issue 15.
I love how they all know each other at this point.
Yeah, of course they do, yeah.
That's what Stan wanted to do. He wanted to create a universe.
He did it,
well, they all did. Where the superheroes are real and they all live sort of side by side.
Well, Spider-Man certainly meets all of them.
Yeah, he does. He gets around.
So there's a Spider-Man, Yellow Jacket and Wasp, Spider-Man and Wasp. And back to the Human Torch again with issue 61. And a Thing bit. I guess he's in there somewhere. Marvel Team Up. I just want to pull this one out because I know this is such a good cover by John Byrne. I don't know if I'm missing much, but I know one of the Iron Fist characters appears. It's I think it's this guy. This guy here is in the, I don't know if that's the Thunderer, or whether they call him Steel Serpent there, but this character appears in the Iron Fist Netflix show.
Oh, really?
And that's his first appearance, yeah.
Don't recognise him.
No, and they're talking about Daughters of the Dragon here.
Yeah.
There he is. That's probably his first appearance there, actually. But they're apparently they first are called Daughters of the Dragon. It's either in the Chris Claremont, John Byrne series, or it's in Power Man and Iron Fist. Can't remember. That's when they.
Well, again, rumoured to be an upcoming Disney Plus.
How good will that be?
Rumoured.
I like same actors. That would be nice.
Potentially, because they've got the Netflix characters back.
I thought they were really good. Those two. This is the first appearance of Captain Britain in an American comic book.
Oh wow!
So he's obviously.
They've changed his costume.
Well, that's his original costume. So in the British Weekly comic, which starts in '77, I'm going to say, he wears that. He's a totally different costume now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Completely different.
That's the Union Jack now.
Yeah, he's just got a lion, lion heart thing. I've got 2 copies of those. Don't know what the other one is.
Yeah, I've got it in my box.
That's in your box. Oh, great! Look, it's got.
I hate Murder World.
So that's Arcade again.
Yeah.
That's his first appearance. It's 65, 66.
Really?
Yeah, it is. He first appears in Marvel.
I thought he first appeared in the X-Men.
No, he doesn't. I think I read that recently and I was looking at first appearances. Yeah, Tigra's not really doing much at that time, but there she is with Craven Hunter. Actually, I think she's joined the West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, she's just appeared in the new West Coast.
She has, yeah, because she's in the old.
Yeah.
I love this cover. Also, Marvel doing these big numbers. I like my big numbers, particularly now when I'm getting older.
I need to see
I
them.
want to see big numbers, but here, what a great cover.
Yeah, I like that. I like how Spider-Man's on a little boat.
Yeah.
Because I guess like if there's not much above him but clear skies, he can't cling to anything with his web.
I don't know how many trees are around him.
Or did a branch support him?
Yes,
So it takes the river.
Obviously not, because if they did, he may not be in that little boat. But that's a great cover by John Byrne.
I like that.
I always enjoy John Byrne's art, and he did some fantastic covers, not just for the X-Men, but for so many different books, and that's a bit of a favourite of mine.
John Byrne's sort of fan fiction of the X-Men really interests me. That's all online.
I know you want that to be published, don't you?
Well, what I want published is the alternate version to X-Men 137.
Yes.
Because I've seen like a very early splash page.
Do you mean 138?
138, sorry,
Yeah.
after 137. And then I've seen like page 20 something. So
it's got to exist, hasn't
it
it?
suggests the whole book is out there. It's been done. It just got scrapped.
I thought only the splash page and whatnot
might have been
around,
done and got cancelled.
By saying that issue 21 exists, and I guess there's a whole issue out
That's what I like, 138.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, he has been doing fan fiction, hasn't he? But apparently not been published. There's a nice Havoc cover, it might be Havoc's first
Solo.
cover appearance, if you like, with his own name. Having said that, how many more have there been? A few, but not too many. Just want to highlight Whiplash. Whiplash is so different, doesn't he, to his film appearance?
And in the film, he's just wearing the orange sort of jumpsuit trousers, from what I can remember.
I can't remember what it looked like. It wasn't like that though. It's got a nice Power Man cover. Quite like that.
Yeah, that was good.
I like this cover. Sorry, it is John Byrne. Look at that. It's really nice.
Tarot cards.
The Fall.
Oh, poor Spidey.
Spidey. So he crosses over into the Conan universe and meets Red Sonja.
This is, not the first time he's met Red Sonja. Or it could have been the first time, but ever since we've had the Michael Turner.
We did.
Spider-Man Red Sonja, 5 issues.
Wasn't that Mary Jane?
I don't know.
Channeling. I've not read it. Have you read it?
No, I can't remember it.
We should read it, shouldn't we? But that was certainly nice Michael Turner covers. I think that's worth digging out and reading. Quite like look at this one, 81.
Safer there.
Yeah, again, she didn't make. This might be her first cover appearance because she again was in Vampire Tales and those black and white magazines that had been cancelled. I guess she wasn't around, and maybe see a book like this, it gives you the chance to use
these characters.
Yeah, all the characters in the Marvel U. This is quite a valuable book, Spider-Man and Mockingbird, 95.
Is that because Dan Slott put Peter and Mockingbird together for a bit?
Because it's Mockingbird's first appearance, but it's not Bobby Morse's first appearance. She comes from the Kazar series, Astonishing Tales from 70, 71, number 6, I think. Well, I've got a black and white magazine called Marvel Super Action. It's just a one-shot featuring the Punisher.
Yeah. The
backup story is the Huntress, which is her.
Oh wow!
So she's Huntress. She's all in black leather like the Black Widow, as I recall.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is.
So is that before DC used the name Huntress?
No, I don't think so. It's 75. I think. So this, sorry, there's a date on it which I can't see.
July, and then it's just a.
What's that down there? Can you see that?
Oh, 1980.
So 1980. So she's been around for 10 years at this point, Bobby Morse. But that's probably about the same cost as her, first appearance.
Yeah.
There's another Black Widow one there. So I think Howard the Duck's 97.
I love the Winner Toys R Us shopping spree.
Yeah, so that's 137, isn't it?
Yeah. Or 137's a little bit different. It's like this comic can be worth $2,500.
Is that the bicycle one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's because obviously.
And that's the Toys R Us one.
Yeah. Look, there's a Machine Man. I guess his series has been cancelled, I think, by this time. So possibly his next appearance. I got this quite recently, issue 100. It's Frank Miller cover, Frank Miller art as well, I think.
Okay.
And it's the first appearance. It says it there of Karma, who her next appearance is Marvel graphic novel 4, The New Mutants, and she's in that team.
Right.
So Chris Claremont was always creating mutants in the different books he wrote and then
Yeah.
sticking them into the X-Men comics. So that's Karma's first appearance. And issue 101 features Nighthawk again. There he is, popping up once more. Some of the next issues, again, are quite interesting because they feature some of the X-Men. And again, they're quite desirable. God, I'm just going to introduce this one. Devil Slayer is
Don't know Devil Slayer.
a defender.
Okay.
So there's Gargoyle and some of the others.
Is he Cleo and Valkyrie?
Yeah. So he's in the Defenders. Again, he's a character that I think they have in the 2000s. I think they did a Marvel Max series of Devil Slayer. I think I've got it. There you go, going back to the sort of Conan, Robert E. Howard universe. He meets King Cole, who was a very similar character to Conan, but lived thousands of years before Conan.
Right.
There's a Falcon again, a bit more updated. Because at this point, they're sort of now repeating characters.
Yeah.
Like the Wolverine's
That cover I've
first.
seen.
Yeah, that's quite a popular one.
Yeah.
God, look at Wolverine's claws. Cocky.
Sick.
The Prof gets his
He
own.
meets up with Professor
He
X.
does meet up with Professor X, yeah. We were talking about Gargoyle, weren't we? There he is.
There he is. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he's popped up.
he's orange. See, I always
Yeah.
remembered him as grey.
No,
But you're right,
he's
that's
orange.
just like DC.
It's just like Demon, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. At that time, I wasn't familiar with Demon. Now, of course, I've got the trade, and you know,
Oh, maybe the squad is orange. Actually, thinking about
he's
it.
orange, I think.
I just
Yeah.
remember a grey character and sort of blue gloves, blue boots. It's like a gargoyle.
Well, is that not Gargoyle the villain, the super villain?
I just can't remember
Is that the
now.
Grey Gargoyle from the Fantastic Four?
Maybe.
Yeah. I
That's
don't remember
it.
getting a Grey Gargoyle squad. Well, I
Hmm.
think there was a Defenders squad, and I think it did feature.
You now see the orange and the purple. It
Yeah.
does remind me.
I think it was a Far East exclusive,
I do too.
and I think we got it on eBay.
Yeah.
Dominic Fortune is a Howard Chaykin creation,
He's been in something recently.
has he?
Maybe
Yeah.
Domino, I can't remember.
Okay, yeah, he does pop up often by Howard Chaykin. There was a Marvel Max series in 2000s. Is alright. Johnny Storm pops up again. This guy's isn't Speed Demon one of the
Is he in-
superior foes of
Yes, he is.
Spider-Man? One of Nick Spencer's
Yeah,
characters that he uses. Is he in the current Amazing Spider-Man run?
potentially.
Yeah. Going back to Great Man-Thing covers, look at that one. Ed Hannigan and
He's
Alan
absorbed
Milgrom.
Spider-Man.
Poor old Spidey's been absorbed into Man-Thing. Don't know how pleasant or unpleasant an experience
Oh, don't think
that
it's
is,
very
but
pleasant.
don't think it's very pleasant either. But again, look, his arms coming out of Man-Thing.
Yeah.
But that's a brilliant cover.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Lots of artists do brilliant Man-Thing covers because I guess you can do.
Anything with him.
Yeah. There's another Daredevil. It keeps popping up. We've both. Well, I've just finished Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil. I've read up to 26, which is the current issue we have. You've read it as well, haven't you?
I have. That's
There's
brilliant.
quite a bit of Spidey Daredevil conversations.
There
more or
is.
less, but what a brilliant run.
Yeah, so good.
It
I
is.
just can't wait to read the rest of it.
No, it's fantastic. He's doing such a fantastic job, and he did such a good Howard the Duck series as well. I'm just going to go through some of these. There's a Beast one. Tigger again. As I said, they're repeating now, aren't they? Scarlet Witch is down there. This is an interesting one. I can't remember it, but
Oh, Power Man and
it's
Son of
split.
Satan.
Yeah, Power Man, Son of Satan, I guess because they were both Defenders, maybe. And there's a Spidey and Hulk. The obvious team up. Spider-Man and the Watcher. Christmas comic. Don't remember it at all.
Special Christmas issue,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but that'd be nice. I'm sure that's a good read. Not sure about that one, Ellie.
Photo cover.
Not sure about that one. That's a bit of an old one, isn't it? Oh, I really like this. Look at that cover. Spider-Man and the Vision.
That's great. I was surprised nose in her cover.
Is that Ed Hannigan? Yeah, it is Ed Hannigan, isn't it? He's still doing some pretty
Yeah.
good
It
covers.
says Hannigan Byrne.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
I think so.
Hmm. It does, yeah. So John Burns inked it, which is nice. That's quite a nice cover by John Romita Jr. and Terry Austin. It's signed by down there. Quite like that one.
It says by my friends betrayed. She's always getting betrayed by her friends.
That's not good, is it?
I saw the White Rabbit Marvel Legends action figure discounted in TK Maxx the other day.
Did you? Did
I
you
did.
buy it?
I did not.
The thing that gets me with the White Rabbit is one in Batman, isn't it?
Well, it's very Alice in Wonderland.
Same character.
Which again is in,
Yeah.
out of copyright, so.
Yeah.
And look, the Frogman's head's on
Total
the
Spies.
wall. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully Frogman's okay. That's quite an iconic one.
Oh, Spider-Man Kitty Pryde. That's
And
cool.
looks like my copy's completely wrecked.
What is that? Water damage?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, it is. Do you know what? Occasionally I'd read my comments in the bath.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I think that's the victim of that. It's absolutely soaked, isn't it? I immediately want to replace
Oh,
it.
I remember this one.
So this one I'll probably read to you when you're kids because it's absolutely bizarre.
Oh, God, yeah, it's Aunt
and
May.
really, really weird. It's Aunt May.
She was a
who's
Herald of Galactus.
obviously Galactus Herald, and Franklin Richards in it. Yeah, that's possibly the weirdest Marvel team. I'm pretty certain.
Was it April Fool's?
I think it was written by J.M. DeMatteis. Might have pronounced that incorrectly. Todd's mate. Yeah, it's just weird. I read it to you when you were little. I know I did.
I remember that one.
Yeah, because it was a bit weird. This is the updated Frank Miller looking Black Widow.
Yep, new costume.
With cover art again by Ed Hannigan. So we've got 10 issues left. I'm going to go through those as we get towards the end of the box. It's really nice to go over these.
Yeah, it is. It's good. Oh, this one, everybody said nice. I don't know.
Yeah. I think something happens in that issue. I think it's him in his black cover, in his black costume. Sorry, first issue of Marvel Team Up in his black costume.
Yeah, no, I do know that cover.
I think it is. So we've had the original Captain
This
Marvel.
one's big deal.
This is Captain Marvel 2.
Everything going on at Disney Plus.
Monica Rambeau. And this is Star Fox. He was an Avenger at that point, I think. I like this one. Look at that. One of my favourites.
Moon Knight.
That's a good one. I like that colour. I think it's signed by Greg. I think that's Greg LaRocque, who was a 1980s Marvel artist. Last few issues. 147's more Human Torch. Is that the Fall Killer?
Black Abbott?
Oh, I don't know who Black Abbott is. I don't know how Spidey's got hold of Thor's hammer there.
Well, he sort of grabbed onto it, I think.
I think he has, yeah.
He'd be worthy, though.
I think it would be worthy. That's quite nice. Cannonball from the New Mutants gets a bit of a...
Is that Wendigo?
Don't know. I don't think it's Wendigo, but it looks like a cloud. So I don't know.
A cloud? I think it's Wendigo.
Cloud Man. Yeah, it might be Wendigo. I don't know.
Oh, I know this X-Men cover.
This is the last issue. It's got a cover by Barry Windsor Smith. I take it that's Rachel. Must be. That was it. And poor old Spidey's walking off in the sunset.
Oh.
I think it returns in the 90s.
Marvel Team Up.
Yeah, I think there were 2 more series before the 4th one, which I've got a few issues of. But this was the first annual from '76.
Oh, the annuals are cool.
This was such an early X-Men appearance, so
Dave Cockrum cover.
yeah, Dave Cockrum cover. It's written by Bill Mantlo, who was writing Marvel Team Up at the time. It's got art by Sal Buscema, so X-Men have been going for a year.
Nice.
I don't know when this comes out. It might be even before issue 100 of
I
X-Men.
wonder if there's any omnibuses.
Oh, it must be, mustn't it? But I don't know. Don't think it's in the Uncanny X-Men omnibuses. Do you remember it?
No, I
I
don't.
think they admit it, but you know, they're all there, aren't they? Colossus and Storm and Nightcrawler. It's good. I don't have. Well, the next one I've got is issue 5.
The Thing, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and Quasar.
I don't know why.
What a combo.
Well, yeah, I don't know why they.
I hope that the creators could just pick who they wanted.
I think they had to talk to the editors.
Yeah.
Can I use the X-Men? And probably in 1976, just just do it. But you know, as the years went by, no, you have to get approval from the X-Men office.
It would just be fun if like the creators could say, right, I'm going to put this character in the book, and that was that. Because how did they come to such a team?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know how they come up with these things. It's quite a nice looking cover. It's got Cloak and Dagger and the New Mutants, Marvel Team Annual 6. Like the New Mutants, like Cloak and Dagger, like Spidey.
Yeah, it's a
It's all
good book.
good. So that's the end of the original run of Marvel Team Up. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's not. We've got Annual 7 as well. Paul
Powerful
Neary
fight.
cover. Looks like John Byrne. It's Paul Neary's an English artist, I'm pretty certain. And I think Paul Neary inked the Ultimates.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in the 2000s, I think he did. Marvel Team-Up comes back in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah, written by Robert Kirkman.
Mm.
I remember sort of reading his interviews in Wizard saying, "Yeah, I can use any character I want. It's great."
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
really
remember
enjoying
this.
it.
So the first one's really Spider-Man and Wolverine. They found a dead body.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember at all. That's a bit bizarre. It's a good cover though. I'm just looking at all of the different characters by Scott Collins. 04. Clocking that was really early now. Sort of returns comics in 02.
I know.
But a nice looking thing, and obviously he's just doing good things at Image with Invincible and The Walking Dead. So let's have a few look at these. I can't remember them all, but there you go. That's, I guess, the same story. Good cover. Good cover.
I prefer the old Marvel Team-Up font, the
Yeah.
logo head.
Yeah. Oh, Spidey's not even in this one. Look, it's Doctor Strange and the FF.
Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah, which is quite cool.
Iron Man and Hulk.
Yeah. That looks really familiar, that colour. Really familiar. That's a different one, look. Spidey and X-23.
Oh.
It's quite good. Cap and Black Widow. Don't remember that. Oh no, look, it's got folded corner. Folded
Oh
corner.
yeah. We'll rescue that
Giving
later.
that to you, Ellie, to
Oh.
rescue, please. But I like this one because at the time, Moon
I
Knight
remember
wasn't.
that one.
He wasn't anywhere. Moon Knight wasn't even. I think his series had been cancelled in the 80s, and I don't know what Marvel had really done with him. I think there might have been a mini-series.
I remember that cover.
But from 2002, I think that might have been his next appearance. But of course, he's incredibly popular again, which is good. This looks like, what is that? The Punisher.
Blade and Punisher.
Blade. So yeah, cool.
Oh, I love that cover.
Luke and Daredevil. What a cover! Fantastic. Well, how did they get out of that then? They're
I
all
wonder
squashed.
How that happened.
I don't know how those three got
I'd like
underneath
to reread
the
this
alphabet.
series.
But I stopped buying it with issue 10. I don't know why. Because it looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's so many characters I really like. But I did. But I was reading Invincible at the time. So I did go back and buy issue 14. And we looked at this morning, didn't we, on eBay, and it's worth nearly £100. So.
And that's because the success
Yeah.
of the Invincible TV show on Amazon Prime, which I do want to watch. I've seen the first episode.
I bought Invincible. I didn't buy it from issue 1. I bought it from soon after that, so I got the back issues very, very cheaply. Because I was reading The Walking Dead, and it was great. And again, a lot of the comic press were saying you've got to read Invincible. It's such a good read. It's the best superhero comic in the market. And I'm thinking, no, it can't be as good as Daredevil, for example. But it was good. I enjoyed it. I got the first 60 issues and then stopped reading. I can't remember why.
This is cool.
I regret that, but it was good.
This
Good
is what's cool about creator-owned properties. That Robert Kirkman could pick the Invincible up, stick him
Yeah.
in Marvel Team-Up,
Exactly.
and who knows what special permission he got, but it's his character, so he can do this.
His character, yeah. And it's nice to see that. So we now know, of course, that that's canon. And
Yeah.
Invincible's in a different universe out there somewhere. Let's call it the Robert Kirkman
Of
universe.
course, J.K. Simmons plays his dad in the cartoon.
You mentioned that. Have you seen them all?
No,
I
I've
haven't
only seen
started
the
watching
first
it. Yeah.
episode. It's quite gory.
It is quite gory, and I'm still regretting the fact I stopped buying it with issue 60 because I think it goes on to about issue 140.
There are the omnibuses, aren't there? You
Yeah,
can
so
get
I
the
am gonna-
complete collection.
I'm going to catch up, I think, because it was a good read.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I enjoyed looking at the Marvel Team-Up
Me
comics.
too. Yeah, it was really nice.
Um,
Thanks for that, Ellie. That was good fun.
And maybe Marvel 2-in-1.
Maybe
one
Marvel
day.
2-in-1 could be next, couldn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. And I'm sure we'll film another video soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.